quiet ocean at dawn, stretching into silver mist, and a floating platform rocking gently above unfathomable depths where something ancient has begun to wake. Tonight's story invites you into that soft glow between worlds, where humans see luminous Lemurian towers rising from the Pacific, while alien allies beside them see only empty air. It's a mystery that hums in the mind, rather than the sky, whispering its way through perception, memory, and the strange comfort of being recognized by something far older than any civilization alive, as Dr. Daniel Foster and Commander Lisa Morales begin to understand that this awakening city uses the same human-only signature found in the alien archive and the Sedona artifact. A deeper pattern takes shape, one linking ancient structures, forgotten builders, and the quiet rhythm of the human mind itself. So breathe gently and let yourself drift into a place where glowing platforms rise like dreams from still water, where every step reveals another soft secret meant only for human eyes. Tonight you'll wander through a city that knows you and has been waiting. Get ready for this drift as we begin a long journey down. The sea is flat and dark under a silver dawn. The joint observation platform glides into position and locks its anchors into the deep water. The sky is pale and hazy, streaked with thin clouds and tiny survey craft circling high above. Straight ahead, the Lemurian city rises from the Pacific. To human eyes, it looks impossible and clear. Smooth platforms float in perfect grids. Tall towers rise from them, their sides glowing with soft white and pale blue light. Lines of light run along the edges of walkways and platforms like something alive, moving in slow, steady pulses. The city stretches so far that the far towers fade into the haze at the horizon. Dr. Daniel Foster stands at the rail beside Commander Lisa Morales. Both wear light pressure suits, helmets open, the morning air cool on their faces. Around them, alien envoys stand in a careful half circle. Some balance on 3 legs, some on 4. Their dark eye membranes shine and adjust as they stare forward. Above the rail, human drone camera feeds hover as flat, clear screens. Every screen shows the same thing Daniel sees, with his own eyes. The glowing city, solid and calm, sitting on the ocean like a second continent. Beside them, larger alien-built displays hum softly. Those cameras scan in many spectra: radio, infrared, ultraviolet, polarized light, neutrino scatter, exotic fields humans barely understand. Their feeds show only open water, empty sky, and the human platform itself. No towers, no platforms, no light. Lisa glances at Daniel, then turns to the lead alien observer, a tall, gray-skinned being with 3 long, jointed arms. "Describe what you see," she says. The alien tilts its head. Its voice comes through the translator as a smooth, even tone. "Open ocean," it says. "Moderate haze. No solid structures within visual or sensor range except this platform and your support craft." Daniel looks from the alien to the glowing city in front of him. His heart beats harder. Not from fear, but from a sharp, clear interest that pushes everything else aside. The neural scanners on the upper deck ping with soft status tones. Data races into the joint lab. Early analysis appears on Daniel's wrist display. The Lemurian city is not shining light into the air. It is sending complex electromagnetic patterns straight into human visual cortex. The image of the city forms inside human brains, in the same place normal sight forms. Every human who looks sees the same city, from the same angle, with the same details. But alien brains stay quiet. The patterns slide past their neural wiring, as if it is not there. The city is not just invisible to aliens, it does not react to them at all. To prove this, an alien soldier, suited and tethered, steps forward. His species' eyes see only open water, where Daniel sees a glowing platform. He walks across the deck and keeps going. To Daniel, the soldier seems to walk straight into a shining Lemurian floor. Then, suddenly, the soldier is gone, passing through empty air where humans see solid structure. The tether snaps tight, sensors flash red, as the soldier's body drops through the place where Daniel's own feet would have felt firm force field. The Lemurian surface is solid to humans. To aliens, it might as well not exist. This is not a shared world that all minds can use. It is a locked interface. And humans, for reasons no one yet understands, are the only living password. The joint observation platform is a wide disk of composite metal and smart foam, floating steady in the slow Pacific swells. Long stabilizer arms reach down into the water, holding it in place with silent thrusts. Around the rim, rails and sensor masts form a circle of thin towers and dishes. In the center, a raised deck holds the main viewing area. This is where Daniel stands, feeling the slight hum of engines under his boots. It is early morning, but the Lemurian city ahead shines with its own soft light. To Daniel, it is bright enough to read by. The platforms form perfect squares and circles, linked by glowing bridges and slender towers that stretch up into the haze. Narrow beams of pale light run along the edges of walkways and platforms like something alive, moving in slow, steady pulses. Human staff move quietly along the platform. Some carry sensor slates. Some check tethers on the alien guests. There are 20 humans on this mission, and 12 alien envoys from 4 different species. All of them have trained for months to work together. Commander Lisa Morales, the human lead, steps to the center of the deck. "All right," she says. "Visual survey. Humans first, then alien teams. Dr. Foster, narrate what you see." Daniel taps his wrist mic. His voice goes to the recorders and to the translation systems. "I see a grid of platforms," he says. "Closest platform is about 80 meters ahead. It is level with our own deck. It glows along the edges. There are 3 towers on it, triangular in cross-section, tapering upward. Beyond that, another platform at the same height with 4 towers, and so on. Layout appears regular." He pauses, then adds, "There are no waves breaking against the platforms. The sea passes under them. Surfaces appear to be force fields or some kind of solid energy, not physical material." The human crew near him nod slightly. They see the same thing. On the hovering human-built displays, the drone camera feeds match his words exactly. The city is crisp and detailed. Bright lines, clean corners, soft inner glow. Lisa looks to the alien group. "Your turn." The lead alien observer, named Tarek, adjusts the translator at his throat. His 3 arms rest lightly on the rail. His species sees in wide spectra, far beyond human eyes. In our visual band, Tarek says, "There is only water, reflections from your platform. No other surfaces. Infrared shows uniform sea temperature. No heat from towers, no shadows. Ultraviolet, similar. Our high-frequency radar shows no solid returns at those coordinates." On the alien displays, Daniel sees what Tarek describes. Calm waves, slight haze, a line of empty horizon where his human eyes see glowing structures. A second alien envoy, from a different species, adds, "Our gravimetric sensors show nothing unusual. No mass displacement at those points. The water behaves as if the city does not exist." Daniel studies the feeds. Human drones using normal optical cameras see the city. Alien drones mounted with exotic multispectral arrays see blank ocean. Switch a human drone to non-visual modes only. Daniel says, "Cut the regular camera. Run only radar, LiDAR, and thermal." A tech on the lower deck nods and sends the command. One of the human drone feeds blacks out its main image. New panels appear with false color maps. LiDAR returns? Lisa asks. The tech frowns. "Nothing, Commander. No surfaces out there. Radar is the same. Thermal is flat." Daniel feels a chill of scientific excitement. The city image on the human cameras is not coming from reflected light at all. It is being written into the camera's input systems directly, in the same way it is being written into human visual cortex. He turns his attention to the neural scanner readouts on the side screens. Above the deck, a dome of sensors is watching every human and alien brain in real time, mapping activity. A human neurotech, Kira, speaks without looking away from her console. "Dr. Foster, I am seeing synchronized activation in all human visual cortices when they look at the city. Pattern is almost identical between subjects. It's too clean. This is not normal sensory noise. Compare it to baseline daylight viewing," Daniel says. "Already did," Kira answers. "The city pattern is sharper, higher contrast. It's like the signal knows exactly what neurons to fire And in what order? And the aliens? Daniel asks. Flat, Kira says. Their visual centers show normal low-level ocean scene responses. No extra activity. Whatever the city is sending is passing through them without catching. Daniel steps closer to the rail and studies the city again. The nearest platform looks solid enough to jump onto. Small, slow pulses of light roll along its edge, like breathing, but the surface itself does not move. This is a hijack, he says softly into the mic. Not of our eyes, but of our visual brain. Lisa glances at him. In simple terms, Doctor, the city is not shining light, Daniel says. It is sending electromagnetic patterns, tuned to human neural wiring. It is drawing the city inside our heads, the way a projector draws an image on a wall. But in this case, the wall is the visual cortex. Every human here is getting the same movie, at the same time. Tarek's head tilts. Your word movie suggests false image. Is what you see real? Daniel nods toward the place where the alien soldier fell through. Real enough to catch a tether, Lisa says. The surface held against the pull, even though your soldier fell straight through it. Tarek looks toward that spot. To him there is only open water, a shimmer of waves, the pale sky above. How does a structure make contact with a human body and not with ours? Tarek asks. We share the same gravity, the same basic physics. We fall the same way. Daniel answers slowly. The force fields out there must be tuned, the same way the visual signal is tuned. They react to human biology, to our electrical fields, maybe to details of our nervous systems. To you they are transparent, to us they are firm. Lisa turns to the human tech team. Mark our current position, she says. Prepare a walk test. Human volunteers only, tethered. Kira raises an eyebrow. You want to step onto a surface that does not even show up on radar. Yes, Lisa says calmly, because it holds us and not them. That is data. Controlled risk is why we are here. Taharik lifts his inner eyelids, a sign of concern in his species. Commander, be aware that from our view, your people will be stepping into empty air. Lisa gives a short nod. That is exactly what I want recorded. Within minutes, 3 human volunteers stand at the edge of the platform, suits sealed, tethers attached to thick anchor rings. Daniel watches, both as scientist and as the mind who has studied alien perception for 20 years. Step forward, Lisa orders. From Daniel's view, the humans walk off the human platform and onto the nearest Lemurian platform with careful, slow motions. Their boots press into surfaces of clear, glowing force. Each step leaves a faint trace of brighter light that fades after a second. The force field does not bend or shake. It feels, they report, like metal under a thin rubber mat. From the alien view, recorded on a shared screen, the same 3 humans walk out past the edge of the human deck and hang in mid-air, supported by nothing. Their tethers droop as if gravity has changed under them. Their boots press against emptiness. Their mass is supported, an alien sensor officer reports, but the supporting field has no signal in our detectors. It is invisible in every band. Kira calls from the scanner console. Human motor cortex shows normal walking patterns. Proprioception and balance sensors agree with what they report. To their brains, the surface is completely normal and stable. Daniel thinks of all the stories humans told themselves about lost continents and hidden cities. Atlantis, Lemuria, places that sank below the waves and stayed in myth. Now in front of him, a city older than any human nation rises from the water and answers only to his species. He feels no pride, only a quiet, sharp focus. Something has matched the exact pattern of the human brain and body. The chance of this happening by accident is almost zero. This is not for them, he says softly, looking at the alien envoys and then back at the city. This was never for them. Lisa hears him. Then the real question, she says, is whether it was built for us, or whether we were shaped for it. Daniel does not answer. In his mind, 3 images stand side by side. The alien archive, where only humans could enter without dying. The Sedona artifact, which woke only for a human hand. And now this city, riding itself into human sight, holding human weight, ignoring everything else. Far overhead, more survey craft arrive, Their lights faint in the brightening sky. Around the platform, the sea rolls slowly, strong and patient. The visible city stays perfectly still, like a program waiting for the next command only humans can give. By midday, the joint platform has turned into a strange classroom. There are lines of tape on the deck, marking where human sight says the Lemurian platforms begin. There are tether points for alien and human volunteers, and there are rows of sensors set up to watch every move. The air is warmer now. Sunlight reflects off the calm sea. The Lemurian city glow looks softer against the bright sky, but still clear. Test Series 3. Lisa says over the intercom. Mixed species movement, controlled steps. Daniel stands with Kira near the neural scanner dome. The display in front of them shows color maps of brain activity in real time. Each subject, human or alien, has a different color. The plan is simple. Have aliens walk into empty space where humans see floors, while humans make the same moves. Measure what happens. A tall alien soldier, Raren, steps to the marked line. His species walks on 4 strong legs and has heavy armor plates grown into the skin. He has already fallen once, in the early confusion. Now his tether is doubled, and the winch team is ready. Raren, Lisa says, take 3 steps forward. From Daniel's view, Raren walks toward the nearest Lemurian platform. He reaches the edge where human volunteers stood earlier. From Raren's view, described through his translator, he is walking off the edge of the human platform into open air. He takes the first step. His front legs find nothing. He falls as if stepping into a hole. On the scanner, Daniel sees a spike of alarm in Raren's brain. Then the sudden flop of free fall. The tether snaps tight. The winch whines, pulling him back up. He swings slightly and bumps against the human deck, where assistants grab him. Report, Lisa says. Raren's voice shakes slightly. I stepped into nothing. There was no resistance, no surface. Gravity pulled me. Then the tether stopped me. That is all. A human volunteer, Maria, steps to the same mark. Maria, Lisa says, 3 steps forward. Maria walks off the human platform. To aliens. She moves into thin air and stands there. To Daniel, she steps smoothly onto the glowing Lemurian surface. Describe it, he calls. Solid, Maria answers. Surface is smooth. I feel a faint vibration through my boots, a little warmth. On the scanner, Maria's brain shows the calm pattern of normal balance and support. Her muscles relax as if she is on any normal floor. Kira shakes her head. It is like the city reads human bodies at a very fine level, she says. It knows where her feet are, how much she weighs, how fast she is moving. It answers all that. But for Raren, it stays at 0. Next, they test touch panels. Technicians bring up a long Lemurian control surface from the city on a thin force field column. To human eyes, it looks like a flat panel of glass with soft light moving under the surface in changing shapes. To aliens, it is only a floating shimmer in the air, faint and unclear. Dr. Arjun Patel, a neural optics specialist, steps forward. He is shorter than Daniel, with dark hair shot with gray, and eyes that carry the tired look of someone who has not slept enough in weeks. Recorders ready? Arjun asks. All ready, Lisa replies. Ren, please touch the panel, Arjun says. Ren reaches out with an armored hand. His fingers pass into the light without meeting resistance. On the human side, the panel image seems to blur around his hand, but no symbols light up, no pattern changes. Any feeling? Arjun asks. None, Raren says. My skin sensors show a faint electric field, but nothing strong. No heat, no force. On the scanner, Raren's touch areas show almost no change. Now Maria, Arjun says. Maria steps forward and presses her bare hand against the panel. Under her fingers, lines of light spark to life in clean shapes, circles, triangles, flowing curves that shift and balance in a kind of simple language. The panel brightens. New layers of symbols appear, moving in response to the pressure and motion of her hand. On the scanner, Maria's sensory cortex floods with activity. Her brain is not only feeling touch, it is receiving a structured signal, like another channel of sight or sound. Describe the feeling, Arjun says. It is like braille under my skin. Maria says slowly. Patterns, not pain. It gives tiny taps in different spots. It feels like it wants me to trace shapes. Try tracing the large circle, Arjun says. Maria moves her finger slowly. As she traces, the city responds. Far out across the water, a low hum reaches the platform. To Daniel, tall towers along the nearest platform shift angles slightly, as if turning to face the observation deck. On the alien cameras, nothing happens. The ocean is unchanged. The towers do not exist. Arjun smiles a little, the first time Daniel has seen him smile all day. All right, Arjun says. I think we have enough for a model. Gather in the lab in 30 minutes. Later, in the compact lab module under the main deck, Arjun stands in front of a big shared display. Around him, humans and aliens sit in curved rows of seats. The low ceiling panels glow with gentle light. On the screen, Arjun brings up a diagram of the human brain. The visual cortex at the back of the head is marked in blue. The touch areas at the top are marked in green. I work in neural optics, Arjun says, with his voice tuned slow for translation. Most sentient species see by catching light with eyes and sending signals into the brain. The Lemurian city does not bother with eyes. It sends its signals straight into this blue area and this green area, visual and tactile centers. He switches to another image, a dense map of lines, dots, and waveforms. This, he says, is the electromagnetic pattern we measured from the city when Maria touched the panel. Think of brains as hardware, Arjun continues, and think of signals like this as software. Not every program runs on every hardware. You cannot load a human brain signal into an alien brain and expect it to make sense. The wiring is different, the timing is different, the frequency ranges are different. He looks at Tariq. When the city sends its pattern, it is like sending a program designed only for human hardware. It has the exact timing and shape that human neurons expect. So human visual cortex fires in a stable picture. Human touch cortex fires with stable patterns. Your brains, however, do not match those exact shapes and timings, so the signal slides past. It does not boot up in your neurons. You see nothing. You feel almost nothing. Tariq raises a hand. Could the signal be adjusted to include us? In theory, yes, Arjun says, but only if you can rewrite the city's output or rewrite your own brains. Right now, neither is possible. Daniel leans forward. How precise is this match? He asks. How close is the city's signal to natural human brain patterns? Arjun brings up another overlay. On the left is the Lemurian signal. On the right is a pattern from an old project, the Alien Archive entry scans. Dr. Hannah Cole's team recorded these. Arjun explains. This is how the archive reacted to human approach and entry. When Daniel asked me to compare the patterns, I did not expect much. Different site, different tech, different age. He switches to a third view. The two patterns lined up on top of each other. They are almost the same, Arjun says. The room goes quiet. On the display, peaks and valleys in the Lemurian pattern sit almost perfectly inside the peaks and valleys in the archive pattern. There are tiny differences, but the base frequency, the shape, the timing, these match with shocking closeness. It is like seeing two programs written by the same coder for the same machine, Arjun says. Minor updates, but the same basic design. Daniel feels his throat go dry. His mind jumps back to the alien archive, a vast, dark structure where humans could walk freely, but every non-human died on contact. He remembers the terror in alien governments when that fact became clear, and now here is the same signature in the Lemurian city's signal. It is a human-only security protocol, Daniel says softly. Same idea, new form. Arjun nods. We have started calling it that in the lab, the human-only protocol. It looks like a fixed address, a specific mapping of frequencies and timings that matches human brain wiring. The city uses it. The archive used it. The Sedona artifact likely uses it too, but we do not yet have full scans there. An alien from a smaller species, with transparent skin and visible organs, raises a tentacle. Are you claiming that your species is required for these systems, that we can never interact with them directly? I am saying, Arjun answers, that by default, these systems ignore you. They treat non-human minds as background noise. You do not exist to them, only humans do. Lisa, sitting near the back, folds her arms. How hard would it be to fake human brain signals? She asks. Could an alien wear some kind of neural mask to look human to the city? Arjun shrugs. In principle, you could build a device that outputs the right pattern and connects to an alien brain, giving them a second layer of perception. But you would still have a body that does not match the physical access rules. The surfaces out there respond to human biology as well as human signals. They hold human weight. They react to human skin. They do not catch alien mass. You would be giving an alien a human login without a matching body key. The system might reject that, or do something worse. Tariq's eyes dim. Worse? Yes, Arjun says quietly. Remember the archive. It did not just ignore non-humans. It killed them. Whatever runs these systems may see false access attempts as a threat. Daniel remembers the early days of the archive, the reports of alien test animals dying without clear cause when brought near human-only zones. Their cells simply stopped coordinating. Their minds went silent. It was not an attack in any normal sense. It was more like a door closing with crushing force. Have you checked the Lemurian signals for anything like that? Daniel asks. We are monitoring all alien brain activity. Kira answers from the second row. So far, no lethal patterns. The city either ignores them or touches them weakly. No signs of attack. For now, Lisa says. The words hang in the room. On the main display, the twin patterns of Lemurian city and alien archive continue to glow in quiet, strict lines. Same language, same reader, same locked door. Later that evening, Daniel stands alone at the upper rail. The sun is low, turning the sky orange and pink. The Lemurian city's own light seems to soften in the warm colors, but the shapes of platforms and towers are as clear as ever. He activates his wrist display and calls up old records from Dr. Hannah Cole. Her voice, recorded years ago at the Alien Archive, plays softly through his earpiece. Human brain waves match entry field. Non-human patterns cause full system rejection. Access seems tied to specific neural architecture. He overlays Hannah's archive data with Arjun's Lemurian data. On the tiny screen, the match is almost perfect. It is the same key, Daniel says quietly to himself, across sites, across time. He looks out at the city. Somewhere under those glowing surfaces is a control system that knows more about his brain than he does. It knows where his visual neurons sit. It knows how far apart they are. It knows how much charge each spike carries. It knows him, and it does not know Tariq, Reren, or any of the others. Behind him, he hears the faint steps of someone approaching. Arjun stops beside him, holding a mug of something hot. You keep staring at it like it will answer you, Arjun says. Maybe it already has, Daniel replies. We just do not like the answer. Arjun leans on the rail. To both of them, the city seems close enough to touch. Do you think this is an accident? Daniel asks. That a random ancient system just happens to match our brains this well? No, Arjun says at once. This is design. Either they built the system for us, or something built us for the system. There is no third option that fits the data. Daniel watches a faint pulse of light travel along a distant bridge, linking two towers. The aliens are asking in their back channels if we knew, Daniel says. If our species has been hiding this. Arjun snorts softly. We did not even know how to keep our own planet from overheating until a few decades ago. Now they think we built this city. They think someone might have, Daniel says, and that we might be their heirs. He imagines alien leaders watching these same feeds, seeing only empty ocean where humans see a city that will not talk to anyone else. They must feel shut out, locked outside a door deep in someone else's house. We need to give them an answer, Arjun says. And soon. Daniel nods slowly. Then we keep testing, he says. We map every part of this human-only protocol. We find out how far it reaches, and we tell them the truth, even if the truth makes everyone uncomfortable. Far out on the Lemurian platforms, a new line of light brightens and curves in a shape Daniel has not seen yet. It looks almost like writing. It is not meant for alien eyes. It is meant for him and every other human brain tuned to the signal. For the first time, Daniel feels less like an observer and more like a user sitting at the login screen of a vast, ancient system, watching the cursor blink, waiting for the next command. The night after Arjun's briefing, sleep is thin on the platform. By morning, everyone looks a little worn. The sky is pale and washed out, and the Lemurian city still shines in soft blue and white ahead of them, as calm as if nothing has changed. Lisa stands in the small conference room, fingers tapping on the table as she waits for her secure link to start. Daniel sits beside her. Tariq and 2 other alien envoys stand near the wall, watching. The wall screen brightens. A sealed pentagon icon appears, then shifts to a live feed. A tired-looking general in a dark uniform appears. Behind him, Daniel can see the faint outline of Arizona hills through a window. "Commander Morales," the general says. "We are live. This channel is point-to-point. No relay storage. Confirm." "Confirmed," Lisa says. "Joint observation platform, Central Pacific. Present are Dr. Daniel Foster, lead Xenocognition consultant, and 3 alien envoys cleared for this briefing." The general's eyes flick to the aliens, then to Daniel. "We are bringing Sedona into this," he says. "You asked for full context. You are going to get it." The image shifts. A map of the United States appears, zooming in on the southwest. A red dot flashes over northern Arizona. "Sedona causality artifact," the general says. "You all know the public version. Strange device found in a sandstone chamber. Only responds to human contact. Appears to affect cause and effect chains. What you do not know is how closely its access pattern matches what you are seeing out there." He calls up a set of waveforms. Even at a glance, Daniel feels a jolt. The basic shape is familiar. Arjun's voice comes through from another vantage point on the platform, patched into the same call. "Sedona scans," he asks. "This is the first time you have released raw data." "Correct," the general says. "This pattern was recorded when Dr. Sarah Whitman touched the artifact. Robots and alien probes showed no reaction. No signal, no change. Human touch turned it on." Tahrik steps closer. "With respect, General, you denied this level of detail to our science councils. You told us the artifact was under control. At the time," the general says, "we thought it was. Then the Pacific City rose." He splits the screen into 3 columns. Lemurian city signal, alien archive signal, Sedona artifact signal. The 3 graphs line up side by side. Slight differences in detail, but the base rhythm and spikes are almost the same. "I had Arjun's team run the match overnight," the general says. 93% similarity across all 3. That is not a coincidence. Daniel stares at the screen. His stomach feels tight. Sarah Whitman's name pulls up old memories. He remembers watching her early interviews, a quiet museum curator in Sedona drawn into something far bigger than her normal work. He remembers reading her logs as she learned to talk to a device that seemed to change small outcomes around it, like moving the odds of random events. Lisa folds her arms. "Sir, the aliens deserve to know what happened at Sedona," she says. "All of it. They are standing here looking at a system they cannot use. The same thing is sitting on our land, under our control." The general hesitates, then nods once. "Fine," he says. "Sedona, full summary." The map disappears. A video clip starts. It shows a small sandstone chamber lit by white work lights. In the center sits the artifact, a smooth, dark stone shape, half sphere and half cylinder, covered in faint carved lines. A human woman with short hair, Sarah Whitman, steps forward in a clean lab suit. She reaches out and lays her hand flat on the stone. As her skin touches it, the carved lines glow, bright and steady. Instruments nearby spike. A small metal ball on a stand beside the artifact trembles, then rolls uphill on a tilted track. The clip pauses. When Sarah touched it, the general says, she reported a feeling of patterns under her skin, like complex tapping, very similar to Maria's report of the Lemurian panels yesterday. Robots with synthetic skin felt nothing. Alien volunteers felt only a weak electric field and no signal. Cause and effect change, Daniel says. You are sure? We ran hundreds of tests. The general answers. Drop a coin, change the time it lands. Tilt a table, change the path an object slides. Nothing large scale, nothing that broke physics, but probability shifted. The artifact seemed able to nudge outcomes within short ranges. And only for her? Tahrik asks. Only for humans, the general says. Sarah just showed the strongest, clearest pattern. Her brain wiring matched the artifact best. When we put another human with similar neural profile on the device, it lit just as bright. Daniel feels a cold pattern forming in his thoughts. The archive, he says slowly, controlled life and death access to a vast library. Sedona nudged cause and effect. Lemuria controls physical structures and human perception. All three use the same basic human-only protocol. Correct, Arjun's voice says. They are different tools running on the same operating system. The general looks straight at the alien envoys. We did not build any of these, he says. We did not ask for this, but they are here, on our planet, and they are tuned to our minds. That is the reality. There is a pause. The only sound on the platform is the soft hum of air filters. Tahrik's outer eyelids close, then open again. Our governments will not like this, he says carefully. I know, the general replies, but hiding it would be worse. Lisa leans forward. Sir, how did the alien councils react after the first Sedona tests? She asks. Off the record, if there was such a thing. The general lets out a slow breath. Panic, he says. Not on the surface. Officially they stayed calm, asked for data, sent observers. But our intercepts of their private signals showed fear. Some factions believed we had found an ancient weapon keyed only to us. They feared we might learn to push outcomes on a large scale. Battles, elections, supernova timings. Daniel frowns. But we didn't, he says. Sarah's team set strict rules. Small tests only. No large systems. No playing with weather or tectonic plates. The general nods. We tried to calm them with that. But from their side, intent is a weak shield. You hold a set of keys they do not. And now there is a whole city, Tahrik says quietly, turning to look out the side window, where faint blue light from the Lemurian platforms reflects on the water. Yes, Lisa says. Now there is a whole city. The call ends soon after, with promises of more data and more oversight. Later, the tests move back out onto the deck. This time, the focus is pure control. On the nearest Lemurian platform, human volunteers stand in a loose circle around a waist-high pillar that only they can see. Alien cameras show them reaching into empty air. Daniel watches from the main rail. Tahrik stands beside him, arms crossed. Test Series 5. Lisa's voice comes over the speakers. Control cascades. Maria places her hand on the invisible pillar. To human eyes, lines of light spread out from her palm, like spokes on a wheel, running along the platform edge, then jumping to nearby towers. Start with the same pattern as before, Arjun calls. Circle, then straight line, then 3 taps. Maria traces a glowing circle. As she does, 3 nearby towers shift position in a slow, smooth motion. To Daniel, it is like a city stretching after sleep. To aliens, on their feeds, nothing moves. Now straight line, Arjun says. Maria draws her finger across the panel. A series of distant bridges brighten, then rotate slightly, linking new platforms. When she taps 3 times in quick sequence, something new happens. A faint vibration runs through the human deck. Daniel feels the hair on his arms lift, as if charged. Kira, he calls. Spike in local field strength. Kira answers from the scanner dome. The city just increased output in the human-only band. All human brains on the platform show a small synchronized pulse. Daniel blinks. For a second, the glow of the city seems sharper, edges crisper, colors deeper. It is like adjusting a focus knob, he says. Then it passes. The city returns to its earlier calm brightness. Any alien brain effects? Arjun asks. Minor, Kira says. Very minor. Some of you show a small reaction in your non-visual sensory centers. No danger signs. The city still does not seem to target you. An alien volunteer, thin and insect-like, steps forward toward the invisible pillar. With permission, she says, I would like to try the same pattern. Lisa checks with Arjun, then nods. Proceed. Tether secure. The alien extends a delicate limb into the space where humans see the Lemurian control surface. Her hand passes right through. Describe, Arjun says. Faint field, she answers, like standing near a charged coil. No surface, no pressure, no pattern. Brain scan? Daniel asks. Almost flat, Kira replies. No structured signal. The city is not talking to her cortex. It is only brushing past her sensors. The alien pulls back. It does not know me, she says, not angry, just stating a fact. Daniel watches Maria step forward again. With a light touch, she traces a different symbol, a triangle inside a circle. Out across the water, 3 new platforms rise from below the surface, their edges glowing as they rise to match the level of the rest of the city. On the alien screens, the sea stays empty. Only small changes in wave patterns show where invisible forces move water. Commander Tariq says quietly, Do you understand what this looks like from our side? Lisa glances at him. I have some idea, she says. Tell me. It looks like your species is waking up an ancient control system that we cannot even detect properly, Tariq says. You can raise structures, shape fields, maybe more. If this system connects to other hidden sites across your planet, then you may gain tools that set you apart from every other mind in the local volume. We are already apart, Lisa says. We were apart the day the Archive killed your test squads and let our scouts walk in safely. This just makes it more visible. Tariq's eye membranes contract, then relax. There are factions in my government, he says, that will argue you should be limited, that no single young species should have unilateral access to something this large. Unilateral access, Daniel says, turning to him. You say that like we chose this. Choice is not the point, Tariq replies. Power is. Even if you do not want it, you have it. That will shape every decision from now on. Daniel looks back at the city. Tall towers stand in ordered lines, waiting. A faint flash. Interspecies liaison track. They pulled me in to handle alien concerns. What were those meetings like? Daniel asks. When they realized aliens could not trigger the artifact. Lisa leans back in her chair, eyes on the ceiling for a moment. First day was denial, she says. Aliens thought our test methods were flawed. They assumed we had biased the setup. Second day was anger. Representatives called it human cheating. Some said the artifact must be a human trap built to turn them away. But it was millions of years old, Daniel says. Facts did not matter much in that room, Lisa says. Only fear. The idea that there were systems on Earth that liked us and ignored them. For some of them, that cut right into their self-image. They see themselves as old, wise, far beyond us. Then this rock in our desert lights up only for a museum curator from Tucson. Kira looks from one to the other. Did anyone suggest destroying the artifact? She asks. Humans or aliens? Lisa says. Either, Kira says. Both, Lisa answers. Some human generals wanted to blow it up to avoid the whole mess. Some alien hardliners wanted it destroyed to keep us from using it. But the science councils on all sides overruled them. Too valuable to lose. Too big a clue. Daniel watches a clip of Sarah again. Hand on stone. Small metal balls rolling against gravity on their tracks. Did the artifact ever talk? He asks. Did the artifact ever talk? He asks. Any language, any message. Not in words, Lisa says. Sarah said it felt like a sort of mood when she used it. Like it was testing what she would do. But that could be her own brain reading meaning into patterns. What about now? Kira asks. Where is it? In a deep bunker, Lisa says. Shielded. Watched by both human and alien staff. Only a tiny team can touch it, and only under strict rules. Tariq steps through the doorway, having listened from just outside. And now Lemuria appears, he says. A system you cannot put in a bunker. A system as large as a country. Daniel rubs his forehead. You think we should shut this down too? Try to sink it? Turn it off. Can you? Tarek asks. Not yet, Daniel says. We barely know how to make it raise a platform. We have no idea where the main controls are, or if there is such a thing. Kira clears her throat. There is something else, she says. It is about signals leaving here. Lisa looks at her sharply. What kind of signals? Last night, Kira says, during the high-intensity tests, the city sent a brief burst of energy straight down, very tight beam. It passed through the water, through the crust. Sensors caught it faintly, on the far side of the planet. Daniel sits up. Destination, unknown, Kira says. But the path matches old records from the Sedona device. Turns out, the artifact sent similar beams during some of Sarah's sessions. We did not know where they went either. Lisa frowns. You are saying these systems talk to each other? Yes, Kira says. Sedona talked to something under the crust. The city is doing the same. And the signal shape is, again, almost the same human-only pattern. It is like parts of a network pinging a central server. A low murmur rises from the aliens gathered in the corridor. Tarek's voice is tight. So you have a planet-wide system, keyed to you, that talks to itself beyond our reach, that will not calm my governments. Lisa stands. Then we make it as open as we can, she says. We share all data in real time. We add alien staff to every team. We make sure no one feels shut out. Tarek's gaze hardens. It does not matter how many windows you add, if the door responds only to your hand, he says. Daniel knows Tarek is not accusing Lisa personally. He is naming the shape of the fear that is spreading light speed through alien networks right now. That evening, the official reports begin to come in. On a shared screen in the mess hall, a news feed shows an alien anchor with pale, faceted eyes speaking in a calm voice. Translation text scrolls below. Sources within the council confirm that the Lemurian structures are accessible only to human citizens of Earth. Pressure grows for a joint control treaty and stronger limits on human access. Another feed shows a different world. Blue plants, triple suns. A crowd gathers outside a government dome, holding signs in bright colors. Translation: humans hold the key. No species should control the root systems. Someone lowers the volume. People eat without talking much. Alien staff sit at one set of tables, humans at another, not by order, but by habit. A few mix, but most stay with their own. The room feels like a ship caught between two storms, human curiosity and alien fear. Daniel finishes his meal and takes his drink to the outer deck. The sky is turning from orange to deep blue. Stars begin to appear. The Lemurian city glows softly, every platform and tower a steady point of light. Lisa joins him, her face lined, eyes on the horizon. You know what they're asking for now, she says. Joint lockouts, Daniel says. Treaties that say humans cannot use these systems without alien approval. Some are asking for more than that, Lisa says. Shared control over human individuals who can access key devices, including you, including anyone with a brain pattern that matches strongly. Daniel is quiet. He looks at his own hands. They want to put us under guardianship, he says. Some of them, Lisa says. Others argue that it's better to stand with us, learn with us, and try to shape what happens. It's not all fear out there. Daniel nods slowly, but enough fear can push the rest, he says. They stand together in silence for a while. Somewhere deep below the waves, some ancient channel may be pulsing with signals that look like human brain waves. Sedona, Lemuria, the archive, 3 points on a pattern that is only starting to show its shape. Do you ever think about Sarah? Daniel asks. Sometimes, Lisa says. She didn't ask for any of this either. She just loved old rocks and museum catalogs. She became the first human operator of a causality device, Daniel says. Now Maria and our other volunteers are the first operators of a city. None of them trained for that. Lisa gives a short, humorless laugh. You don't get to train for being chosen by ghosts, she says. Daniel grips the rail, feeling the cool metal under his fingers. Ghosts? He says. Whoever built this, Lisa says. Whoever wrote the human-only protocol. They are gone, but their choices are still shaping our lives. Far out across the water, a new pulse of light moves along the platforms, forming a wide, slow wave. It looks almost like the city is breathing. On alien worlds, people are watching this through human feeds, seeing only empty water and a human platform, but knowing something huge sits just beyond their reach. And on Earth, in a bunker in Sedona, a dark stone device waits in the hands of a small human team, held under uneasy guard by friends and rivals. Daniel feels the weight of all of it pushed down, not as drama, but as simple gravity. "This is why I studied other minds," he says softly, "to understand how reality can look so different from different eyes. I did not think it would turn into this." Lisa looks at him. "Then keep doing what you do," she says. "Describe what you see. Compare it to what they see. Keep the picture honest. That may be the only way through this, without someone doing something stupid." Daniel nods. The city glows. Somewhere under the crust, signals move. In Sedona, the artifact sits quiet for now. 3 sites, 1 pattern. Humans at the center, whether they want to be or not. The next morning, the sea is calm and gray. Thin clouds cover the sky, softening the light. The Lemurian city still glows ahead of the platform, but the colors are gentler, blue and white against the dull sky. Lisa's voice comes over the intercom. "Priority mission, deep city entry, human team only, with full alien monitoring. Dr. Foster, report to Bay 2. Daniel closes his tablet and heads down the narrow ladder to the launch bay. His stomach feels tight, but his mind is clear. He has been waiting for this step since they first saw the city. Bay 2 opens out toward the nearest Lemurian platform. 2 small craft sit ready. 1 human-made shuttle, 1 alien-built sphere packed with sensors. Arjun checks readings on a console. Maria and 2 other human volunteers stand in light suits, helmets clipped to their belts. Tahrik and another alien envoy watch from the side, their bodies tense but still. Lisa steps in front of the group. "Here is the plan," she says. "The human team will cross onto the nearest platform and follow the paths that light up for you. We stay within visual contact range of the main deck. The alien drone sphere will float beside you, recording everything from our side. The neural scanners will map your brain activity in real time." She looks at each of them in turn. "If anyone feels sudden fear, confusion, or any sense that the city is trying to push your thoughts, you say so at once," she adds. "We pull you back." "Clear. Clear," Daniel says. The others nod. Tahrik steps forward. "We will be watching," he says, "not to stop you, but to make sure nothing stops you without our seeing it." Daniel gives a small nod. "Thank you," he says. They clip on tethers that run back to the human platform, not for physical support this time, but as a last resort way to pull them out if the city tries anything unexpected. Then the outer hatch opens. To human eyes, a wide, glowing bridge stretches from the human deck to the nearest Lemurian platform. To aliens, it is empty air. Daniel steps out first. His boot meets the invisible surface with a firm, faintly warm feeling. A tiny vibration runs through it, like standing on a quiet engine. Light pulses softly under his feet, marking where he steps. Behind him, Maria laughs once, short and nervous. "Feels like walking on glass," she says. The alien drone sphere floats beside them, its hull covered in sensors. On the human platform, techs watch both human and alien feeds, seeing 2 different worlds at once. They reach the first platform. Up close, Daniel can see the surface more clearly. It is not simple flat light. Thin lines cross and curve under a clear top layer, forming huge slow patterns that shift and rearrange as they walk. "Stop," Arjun's voice comes through the earcom. "Daniel, look straight down. Describe." Daniel does. "The surface isn't just glowing," he says. "There are shapes under the top layer. They look like diagrams. Some are circles with smaller circles inside. Some are branching lines. They move slowly, not random." Kira's voice follows. "Your visual cortex is showing extra layers of activity," she says. "It's like the city is adding hidden information on top of what your eyes would normally see." "Do the shapes mean anything to you?" Arjun asks. Daniel studies the patterns. At first they are just pretty designs. Then something clicks. That one, he says, pointing. It looks like an old human symbol, a labyrinth from ancient Greece, a single path that curls inward. Maria leans in. You're right, she says. And over there those look like star maps, like the ones from early astronomy charts. More shapes roll into view as the patterns shift. Hands, simple house shapes, a long curved boat, human stick figures, a spiral like the kind carved into ancient stones. Is it reading your memories? Lisa asks from the main deck, or using some base human symbol set. Daniel thinks about all the pictures humans have made and loved for thousands of years. Simple shapes show up over and over in our history. Circles, spirals, crosses, boats, stars, trees. Maybe the city is not reading his mind right now. Maybe it was built with a library of forms that match how humans tend to think and draw. We should go further in, Daniel says. See if the symbols change with depth. Lisa hesitates, then gives the word. Proceed with caution, she says. Stay within the tether limit. They walk toward the nearest tower. Up close, the tower is huge. It rises at least 50 meters above them. Its three sides smooth and faintly glowing. Thin lines of light run up and down like veins. A section near the base brightens as they approach. To human eyes, a clear doorway shape appears, a tall arch outlined in white. To aliens, watching on their side, the humans seem to walk toward empty water and stop for no reason. Door detected. Arjun says, Daniel, place your hand near the edge. Don't touch yet. Tell us if you feel anything. Daniel lifts his hand slowly. When he gets within a few centimeters of the glowing edge, he feels a gentle pressure on his skin, like a soft breeze pushing out. His fingertips tingle. There's a field here, he says. Not strong. It feels like it's scanning. The tingling moves up his fingers, into his palm, then up his arm. On the neural scanner feed, Kira gasps. The city is pinging your somatosensory cortex directly, she says. It's drawing a map of your body. This may be an access check, like reading a fingerprint, but full body. Let's see if it reacts to emotion, Daniel says. He closes his eyes and thinks of something, calm and steady. His sister's garden back on the coast, the smell of wet soil, the sound of distant waves. He lets the feeling of quiet spread through his chest. The tingling on his skin shifts. It becomes warmer, more even. The doorway outline brightens, then slowly opens into a clear passage that humans can see as an empty, glowing hallway. On the alien screens, Daniel and the others now stand at the edge of the human deck, looking into nothing. It responded, Arjun says. Your limbic system lit up, and the door opened. That wasn't just a physical scan. It was reading your emotional state. Safe, calm, non-threatening, Daniel says. Maybe that's the key condition. Try fear, Lisa says carefully. Just a little. See what it does. Daniel takes a slow breath. Then he thinks of the first time he saw footage of the archived deaths. Alien soldiers dropping, their suits intact, their bodies already gone inside. He remembers reading the reports about cells losing order, hearts stopping, brains going flat with no visible cause. Fear slides up his spine, cold and sharp. At once the tingling on his arm changes. It becomes prickly, almost like static shocks. The doorway outline flickers. The open hallway blurs, then tightens, like an eye closing. Stop, Kira says quickly. Your amygdala just spiked. The city did not like that. Pull back. Daniel forces himself to think of the garden again. Green leaves, warm sun, the smell of mint. The tingling softens. The doorway brightens and stabilizes. The passage opens wider. Okay, Arjun says, voice tight. Rule number 1, do not approach deep structures while feeling strong fear or anger. The system may shut you out, or worse. Agreed, Lisa says. Daniel, do you feel stable enough to go inside? He checks himself. The fear remains, but he has it under control now, like a picture held at arm's length. Yes, he says, he'll be careful. He steps through the doorway. Inside, the air feels slightly thicker, as if he walked into a humid room. but his suit sensors show no change. The walls are smooth, glowing faintly, with patterns moving under the surface. The light has no clear source. It seems to come from everywhere at once. Maria follows, then the other two volunteers. The alien drone sphere floats at the threshold, unable to cross. Invisible forces hold it back, like a glass wall. Drone impact on barrier, and alien tech reports. Force of unknown type. No penetration, no entry. Human-only interior, Tahrik says quietly. Again, Daniel moves slowly down the hall. The patterns on the walls shift as he walks. At first they are just lines and shapes. Then he sees something that stops him. "Arjun," he says, "recording this?" "All feeds locked," Arjun answers. "What do you see?" On the wall to Daniel's left, a series of images glide past. They are not clear photographs. They are more like very simple drawings made of light. First, a group of tall, thin figures with long heads and 4 arms. Nothing like any known alien species, but also not human. Then, a line of squat, wide figures with triple eyes and thick limbs. Then, a shape that looks closer to human. 2 arms, 2 legs, round head. All 3 types stand in front of the same set of symbols. Circles, spirals, branching lines. "It's showing different body plans," Daniel says, like a manual with multiple users. But only the last figure, the human-shaped one, stays on the wall longer. The others slide past quickly. "Maybe it tried many species in the deep past," Arjun says, "and our type matched best. Or maybe it planned for us," Daniel says, "before we existed." Maria points to another section of wall. "Look," she says, "those are human things." Under the moving figures, new images appear. A handprint, a simple hut, a fire, a wheel, a book, a rocket, a space station. Then the Sedona artifact appears as a simple shape, then the outline of the alien archive, then the shape of the Lemurian platforms themselves. "It knows our history," Daniel says quietly, "or it knows the path we took. It has seen Sedona. It has seen the archive. It knows we reached space. Maybe it updated itself from the signals Kira talked about." The wall shifts again. Now the images show a branching tree. At the base are many different body shapes. As the branches go up, some end early, some split again. At the top, the human outline glows brighter than the rest. "Evolution," Maria says, "a family tree of possible users." Daniel studies it. "Could be," he says, "or it is showing a design branching process." Many tries, then a final form. He feels a strange mix of awe and discomfort. "If this was built before us," he says slowly, "and it shows our shape as the final branch, then either whoever made this could predict how life on Earth would evolve, or they shaped it." "You are saying we might have been guided," Lisa says from the main deck. Her voice is calm, but Daniel can hear the weight in it. "I am saying," Daniel answers, "that this system clearly expects humans. It is not surprised by us. The patterns on the walls are not reacting in shock. They already have our icons stored." He moves further down the hall. The air feels the same, but his heart beats faster. At the end of the passage is a wider room. The floor slopes gently downward, forming a shallow bowl. The walls curve overhead, meeting in a dome. The whole space glows with a soft, pale light. In the center of the bowl is a raised ring of light, like a low table. "Central interface," Arjun says. "Careful." Daniel steps to the edge of the ring. It is about waist high. When he looks down, he sees more than light. He sees memories, not his own, but scenes drawn in simple lines and shapes. Humans standing on early ships, looking out at seas full of storm. Humans in spacesuits walking on the moon. Humans in a desert near Sedona, touching a dark stone. Humans in bulky suits at the alien archive door. The city has been watching. It has been recording us, Daniel says. Maybe for a long time. His own species looks tiny in these drawings, but the focus is clear. The city pays attention most when humans touch certain things. Archive walls, Sedona stone, now Lemurian platforms. "Try touching the ring," Arjun says, voice tight. "Just one finger." then pull back. Daniel takes a breath, calms his thoughts as best he can, and lays one fingertip lightly on the glowing ring. The world tilts. For a moment, he is standing in the same room, but the light changes color. Lines of data rise from the ring, like slow-moving rain. They pass through his hand and into his mind. He feels patterns, not as pain, but as a strong, clear signal. His vision splits. In one layer, he still sees the room. In another, he sees something else, a giant web of points, like stars connected by lines. Some points glow bright, others are dim. 3 of the bright points feel familiar: Sedona, the archive, this city. Other points are far away, under oceans, under mountains, maybe even off-planet. All share the same basic human-only protocol pattern. He pulls his hand back with a gasp. The double vision snaps away. The room returns to normal. Daniel, Kira calls. Your brain activity went off the charts. Describe. He leans on the edge of the ring, breathing hard. It's a network, he says. Global at least. Maybe bigger. All the sites we know and more. All using the same protocol. All linked. Could you tell if any of them hold living minds? Arjun asks. I don't know. Daniel says. It felt like pure structure, like looking at a map, not talking to a person. He straightens slowly. Did you feel any will? Lisa asks. Any sense of a person behind it? Daniel thinks carefully. No, he says. It felt automatic, like a system set up long ago that just runs. It didn't push thoughts into me. It just showed me the layout because I touched the key. He pauses. But it clearly has rules, he adds. It opened when I was calm. It flickered when I was afraid. It scanned my body. It seems to test users. Maria speaks softly. Who set the rules? She asks. And why us? Daniel does not answer right away. He looks around the room again. Everywhere on the walls are simple human-like figures and symbols from human culture. Cave signs, early alphabets, musical notes, mathematics, simple faces showing sadness, joy, anger, peace. The city responds not just to touch and vision, but to emotion and memory patterns. It is tuned to the full shape of human experience. How we see, how we feel, how we remember our stories. Maybe it wasn't built for humans at first, Daniel says slowly. Maybe it was built for minds that are like us in some deep way. Emotional, symbol-making, story-building. When our species came along, we fit the mold best. Or, Arjun says, it was built after someone knew we would exist. That someone may have watched Earth for a long time, then set this up as soon as humans were on the scene. Either way, Lisa says, we are not random tenants. We are matched to this place. Outside, on the alien side, they see none of this. The drone sphere still bumps against an invisible wall. To their eyes, the humans are standing at the edge of their own platform, motionless in empty air, speaking into mics. Back inside the dome, Daniel speaks again. We have to accept something, he says. Humans and aliens, both. There is a system older than our nations, older than our contact with each other, sitting under our feet. And it cares, in some sense, about human brains. Not yours, Tariq. Not Raren's. Not the insect folk or the transparent skin people. Us. Tariq's voice comes through the earcom, careful and steady. We accept that, he says. We do not like it, but we accept it. The question is, what does this system want from you? Daniel looks at the simple faces on the wall. Joy, fear, anger, calm. Maybe it wants nothing, he says. Maybe it is just a tool, waiting for someone who fits the handle. Maybe the builders are gone, and we are just picking up what they left. Or maybe it expects you to finish something they started, Tariq says. Daniel feels that thought settle in his chest like a stone. I don't know, he says honestly. It didn't show me a command. It showed me a map. Arjun cuts in. We should pull you back now, he says. We've loaded enough new patterns into your brain for today. Lisa agrees at once. Human team return to the main platform, she orders, slow and steady. No more contact with inner interfaces until we review the data. Daniel takes one last look at the dome. In his mind, he holds two pictures at once. Humans as children who found a box of ancient tools, and humans as planned operators of a hidden machine. Both feel strange. Both change how he sees his own species. As they walk back through the hall, the walls shift again. The tree of body plans fades. New symbols rise. A human hand taking another hand. A circle of figures standing together, human-shaped but with slight changes, like different cultures, different species. Unity, maybe, or shared use. Did you see that? Maria says, it's not just us alone. It's us with others. Daniel nods. The system may prefer humans as operators, he says, but that doesn't mean it expects us to shut out everyone else. Maybe the builders knew others would be around us, knew would form alliances, knew would have to answer to someone. They step back through the doorway. The tingling field brushes their skin as they cross the threshold. Then they are out on the open platform again, under the gray sky. To aliens, it looks like they have simply been standing near the edge of the human deck, lost in thought. On the main platform, Lisa, Tariq, Arjun, Kira, and the rest wait at the rail as the human team walks back across the invisible bridge. How was it? Lisa asks, as they remove helmets and tethers. Big, Maria says, searching for words. And oddly kind, at least to us. Daniel shakes his head slowly. It is not kind or cruel, he says. It is tuned, that's all. It matches us. And in doing so, it makes everyone else feel left out, whether it meant to or not. Tariq studies Daniel's face. Do you feel chosen? He asks. Daniel thinks of the wall images, the human outline glowing at the top of the tree, the ring showing him a map, the door responding to his calm and his fear. I feel involved, he says at last, more than I wanted to be. Arjun steps up beside them, holding a tablet full of new data. We'll need weeks to sort through all this, Arjun says, maybe months. But one thing is already clear. The Lemurian network, the archive, and the Sedona artifact are not random separate tricks. They are parts of a single design. Kira nods. Same protocol, same emotional rules, same body scan logic. Someone set this whole thing up with human-style minds as the main user. The sea rolls gently around them. Far out, the city glows, patient and still. Lisa looks from the humans to the aliens gathered on the deck. There is no easy way to spin this, she says. Humans are the only living password, but we do not have to be the only people who see the results. We can choose to share what we learn, to give up control when we can, to say no when this system tries to give us too much power. Tariq gives a small, slow nod. My councils will fight about this for a long time, he says. Some will want to chain you, some will want to destroy these sites, some will want to worship you, but some will also want to stand with you and study this honestly. I am from that last group. Daniel feels a thin line of relief. We will need you, he says. We are too close to this. Our brains are the keys, but our fears and hopes will color how we use them. We need other eyes, even if they cannot see what we see. He looks again at the city. In his mind, he hears his own earlier questions. Is this luck, design, or manipulation? Now, deep down, he knows luck is almost off the table. The patterns are too tight. The match is too precise. That leaves design or guidance. Maybe both. The thought should scare him more than it does. Instead, he feels a strange, calm weight. Humans are not an accident here. Not completely. This planet's deepest systems recognize them, answer to them, and have been waiting in some way for their touch. Above them, survey craft move back and forth. Data beams flash between ships and satellites. On distant worlds, alien leaders argue about what to do. On Earth, in Arizona, a stone in Sedona sits quiet, waiting for a human hand. In a distant valley, the dark bulk of the alien archive still looms, its doors for now shut. Under oceans and mountains, unseen nodes of the same network hum softly. All of it forms a single, old, patient machine that uses human minds as its login. The story is not finished. The builders are silent. The purpose is not clear. But now, humans and aliens alike must live with a new, unsettling truth. Humanity is not just living on this world. Humanity is holding the keys to something far older than any of them. The joint platform has been in observation mode for 3 weeks. From orbit, it is just another dot on the wide Pacific. Up close, though, it feels like a tiny island pressed against the edge of a sleeping giant. Tests are slower now. There are no more deep walks into inner chambers, no more bold tries at new symbols. Instead, there are careful scans, slow reviews, long meetings, long. The Lemurian city sits ahead of them each day, glowing softly, patient, and unchanged. Daniel stands at the rail after another long call with Earth and the alien councils. The air is warm and tastes faintly of salt. Above, a pale sky holds a few survey craft, moving on steady paths. He hears steps behind him. Lisa and Tariq join him at the rail. All three look out at the city that only Daniel and Lisa can see. Joint council charter is signed, Lisa says. Her voice carries both relief and tiredness. Humans and aliens together. On paper, at least. Your governments accept shared control? Tariq asks. Most of them, Lisa says. Some only because they know they cannot reach Lemuria themselves. Some because they genuinely believe it is right. Either way, we have a structure now. Daniel nods slowly. Operator rules, he asks. No human touches core interfaces without joint council approval, Lisa says. Every session is live streamed to both sides. Any council member, human or alien, can call an immediate stop. And the archive in Sedona, Tariq says, folded into the same framework, Lisa answers. One system, 3 main sites, 1 council. Tariq's inner eyelids close and open in a slow blink. It is a start, he says. Not perfect, but better than each of us acting alone. They stand in silence for a moment. Daniel, Lisa says, they want you to speak at the first full council session, as the Xenocognition lead. As someone who has seen inside Lemuria, Daniel lets out a breath. What do they want me to say? He asks. The truth, Lisa says, as simply as you can. What this place is, what we know, what we do not know, and the big question everyone keeps trying to dance around. Tariq looks at him. Who was Lemuria built for? Tariq says quietly. And what does that mean? Daniel watches light run along a far Lemurian bridge, a slow, soft pulse. You'll try, he says. The council session takes place 2 days later, not in a grand hall, but across dozens of screens. In the platform's main room, a large display shows a mosaic of faces and forms, human leaders in suits, alien diplomats in flowing wraps or armor, scientists from many worlds. Some sit in bright offices. Others are in dim war rooms. All watch the feed from the joint platform. Lisa opens the meeting with a brief recap: the rise of the city, the split perception, the human-only protocol, the inner dome, the map. Then she steps aside and nods to Daniel. He stands in front of the main camera. Behind him, through a clear panel, the Lemurian city glows faintly against the sea. Members of the council, Daniel begins, voice steady. You have all seen the data. You know the technical facts. I am not going to repeat every number. I'm going to talk about what those facts mean, as plainly as possible. He holds up a small slate. 3 images appear on the council's shared screen: the alien archive, the Sedona artifact, and the Lemurian city. These 3 sites share one key pattern, he says, a specific neural and biological address that matches human brains and bodies, and not yours. He changes the image. Now the shared brain signal graphs line up, 3 sets of peaks and valleys, nearly the same. We did not write this pattern, Daniel says. We did not tune these systems. They were here before our modern nations, before our contact with you. He takes a slow breath. When we first found the alien archive, he continues, we thought it might be a special case. When Sedona woke only for a human curator, we thought it might be a strange one-off device. Now, with Lemuria awake and talking to our brains in the same way, we have to admit something harder. He looks straight into the camera. There is a network of ancient systems linked to Earth. They share a human-only protocol. This is not a small glitch. This is a design choice. Whoever built these systems meant them to work with minds like ours. A murmur runs through the mosaic of faces. Daniel waits for it to die down. Now we reach the question everyone asks. He says, who was Lemuria built for? For us? Or did we evolve to fit something older? He sets the slate aside and speaks from memory. I walked into an inner chamber of the Lemurian city, he says. On its walls it showed simple images, different body plans, different possible users. Most passed by quickly. The human-shaped figure stayed. Then it showed a branching tree of forms, with the human outline glowing at the top. It also showed our history, he adds. Boats, fire, books, rockets, Sedona, the archive, our steps, our tools. It knew us, not as a surprise, but as something expected. He spreads his hands slightly. To me that says this system was built with our kind of mind in mind, he says. Whether that means it was built for humans in a personal sense, like a parent building a toy for a child, we do not know. The builders are gone. They left no names, no faces, no clear message. All we see is function. He glances at his notes, then back up. There are two main options, he says. Either the builders could predict how life on Earth would evolve and set up systems to match the future human brain, or they shaped evolution gently, over millions of years, so that a brain like ours would appear and fit their tools. He does not soften the next part. In both cases, the effect is the same, he says. We are tuned to this network. It responds to us. It mostly ignores you. He lets that sit for a moment. This does not mean humans are better than you, he says. It means we are more compatible with a particular set of machines left on our planet. That is all. If the builders had set up their system on your world, it might be tuned to you instead. He sees some alien faces relax slightly at that. It also does not mean we are in charge of the universe, he goes on. We are not the center of everything. We are, however, at the center of this one strange pattern on this one world. He looks down briefly, then up again. How we feel about that is less important than what we do about it, he says. We did not ask for this role. Many of us do not want it, but we have it. That means risk and responsibility. He shows a simple list on the shared screen. Fact: human brains match the system. Fact: alien brains do not. Unknown: purpose of the system. Choice: how we use or limit access. Some of you, he says, fear that humans will use these systems for power, to change outcomes with Sedona, to gain secret knowledge from the archive, to control energy and matter through Lemuria. He nods. That fear is reasonable, he says. We have not always used power wisely. Even in our short history, you have your own stories of misuse. He clicks to the next slide, a simple drawing of two hands holding a key together. Our answer, he says, is shared responsibility, not because we are noble, but because it is the only way to avoid disaster. We have created a joint council, with humans and aliens as equal voices. We have agreed that no human uses these systems alone or in secret. We invite your people to watch us, to sit beside us, to tell us when they think we are going too far. He straightens. We cannot change the fact that our brains are the keys, he says. We can decide, together, what doors to open. We can decide together when to stop. He ends with something simple. As a xenocognition researcher, I have spent my life studying how different minds see the world. He says, Lemuria shows us that the world itself may not be neutral. It may come with deep settings that favor certain minds. That is unsettling. But it also gives us a chance to make a new kind of agreement, not just between species, but between a living network and the many lives that surround it. He looks around the room at the faces on the screens. I do not know who Lemuria was built for in the hearts of its builders. He says, I know who it answers to now. It answers to us. And because of that, we answer to you. He steps back. The screen shifts to show council members speaking in turn. Questions pour in. Some are sharp, some hopeful, some tired. Hours later, the first round of talks ends. No final answers, but no war threats either. For now, that is a success. Back on the upper deck, the sky is clear. Stars prick the dark. The Lemurian towers glow like tall, silent lamps. Daniel leans on the rail, feeling the cool metal under his palms. Arjun joins him, holding a cup. "Heard your speech," Arjun says. "Not bad for simple grade 8 language." Daniel smiles faintly. "Mixed," Arjun says. "Some humans called you too soft. Some aliens called you too honest. That probably means you hit the right middle." Daniel looks out at the city. "Do you ever wish we had never found this?" he asks. Arjun says, "Alright." Daniel looked pong. Arjun thinks for a moment. "Sometimes," he says. "Then I remember that not knowing would not make it go away. These systems were here. Whether we saw them or not, I would rather look them in the face than walk over them in the dark." Daniel nods. "Do you think the builders are watching?" he asks quietly. "Somewhere." Arjun shrugs. "I think if they are, they set things up so they do not have to step in often," he says. "They built rules that run without them. Maybe they wanted us to grow into this on our own." Daniel considers that. In the inner dome, the map he saw showed bright nodes and dim ones. Sedona, the archive, Lemuria, other sites he does not yet know. Maybe the network will never ask for anything more than careful observation. Maybe it will stay a quiet tool, a way to understand Earth more deeply, to protect it better. Or maybe, one day, it will light up in new ways. New doors, new rings, new tests. For now, though, it is still. Lisa and Tarek come up onto the deck. They stand on either side of Daniel, 3 figures under the stars. "First joint council session went better than I feared," Lisa says. "Worse than I hoped," Tarek says. "Which means about right," Daniel adds. They share a small, tired laugh. "Do you think your people will ever stop fearing us over this?" Daniel asks Tarek. Tarek looks at the dark water. "Fear never fully goes away," he says, "but it can be balanced. If we see you using this power with care, if we see you holding yourselves back, trust may grow, slowly, in layers. And if we fail," Daniel asks, "then we will all have to talk again," Tarek says, harder. They fall quiet. A soft breeze moves across the deck. The sea below rolls in slow, deep swells. The Lemurian city glows without sound. Daniel thinks back to the start, the first moment the city appeared on human feeds, while alien cameras saw only blank water. The first time an alien soldier fell through a floor that held human weight, the first readings from the neural scanners. He thinks of the archive's silent halls, where only human steps could pass, of Sarah Whitman's hand on the Sedona stone, metal balls rolling uphill, of the inner dome, where his touch brought up a map of places older than any human language. 3 sites, 1 protocol, 1 uncomfortable answer. Who was Lemuria built for? He says aloud, not really asking them. "We may never know what name the builders used," Lisa says. "We only know the shape they planned for. And that shape is ours." Taharik adds, "And because of that, the rest of us must trust you, or stop you, or both, at different times." Daniel nods. "Then maybe the better question now," he says, "is what kind of people are we going to be, holding this key?" No one answers right away. They watch the quiet city. On other worlds far away, children of many species will grow up hearing about Lemuria, the archive, and Sedona. Some will be angry, some curious, some will study human brains, looking for a way to talk to the same old systems. On Earth, new generations of human operators will be trained under layers of treaties and shared rules. They will step carefully into inner chambers, watched by alien eyes, their choices weighed by many minds. The builders' reasons may remain unknown. Their voices may never reach across the ages. But the effect of what they made is clear. This planet's oldest machines do not treat all minds the same. They are set down to their finest fields for the human pattern. Standing under the stars, at the edge of a city only his kind can see, Daniel feels both very small and very involved. He does not feel chosen in a grand way. He feels chosen the way a person feels when someone hands them a tool and says, "You are the only person nearby who can hold this without it breaking." Heavy, unasked for, real. He looks at Lisa and Tarek, human and alien, and then back at the city. Whatever this thing was built for, he says at last, it's ours to live with now. All of us. Lisa nods. Tarek inclines his head. Behind them, in the quiet air over the Pacific, the Lemurian towers keep shining, steady and watchful, as the joint platform rocks gently on the deep, old sea.